Welcome back, 5 Aces.
Hey people, 5 Aces here. You know what time it is, it's not only time to rock and roll, but also once in a blue moon o'clock, my kids are asleep, all 3 of them, at least I presume, and that is bound to at least last for 1 round of casts. So, let's get that show on the road, let's get it started. We are still in our best of X series, where X is always 1 plus N equals the number of series plus 1 increment by 2, basically. So yeah, quite a non-finite number for the time being, as those 2 are still going toe to toe. We are facing off against each other. We're witnessing Kato on the left-hand side spawning in, camouflaging in Anju's colors, and squaring off against Nudels in the purple trunks, who has had a pretty good track record thus far, and this series is about to get real, despite me not knowing where the end point is. Alright, minigunners of Nudels being in a compact formation, claiming the first lives, and as a result gets the prize. Eyes on the prize, the much coveted oil derrick. Now this is the map, we've casted this before, Blue Winter, yeah. This is a map where the oil derricks are very exposed and you can snipe them over the ridges with either bikes or rockets. And I suspect that this is gonna be one of those games. Also features the comm centers in the middle, with really good eyes in the sky. Ooh, that is a very expensive build from Kato. He went double engineer. Is he going double ref? No, he's going War Factory first. Ha! Oh, he's playing it so safe though. Minigunners first. That's how you do it. That's the way you do it. Money for nothing and chicks for free, quite literally, in at least the first part of that equation. Because the oil derrick start extracting cold hard cash in increments of 10 from the ground. Alright, are we going to be seeing... Yeah, we're going to be seeing the buggy rush. The much coveted not buggy rush. El Clasico. This has some expansions that are walled in. It's only with wire fence, so you can easily destroy that, and I think the harvesters can also run over it. So, quite easy to break, but it's super useful. Okay. The not buggy gets pelted by a couple minigunners, and thus far Nudels has gone for a greed build. Super greedy. He's trying to bait out... Nudels, but Nudels has really just gone for 2 harvesters first. So, this is not a good engagement for Ka, if he wants to engage into this, but conversely, Nudels can just easily repair here. Oh, the chain guns are going in. He is focus firing so hard, and Kato coming out on top. Very nicely done. Splits the... I was about to say the carts, it's like Mario Kart with those little pelt shooters. But no, it's just the buggies. Bikes and buggies. Pelts away at the buggies and trades evenly and gets the minigunners out of the equation. That was a pretty worthwhile trade. Oh, the commitment. Super hard commitment here. The recon bike is going down eventually, but that was a lot of losses for Nudels. Kato is not having a good time for now. So what Kato could do here is send the injured not buggies to the back lines. He's doing just more or less. Ooh, a triple kill with the AoE. Still, this trade yet again favoring Kato, while he also gets to put some pressure onto the oil derrick. Now, something I actually never found out in my time of playing TD, my limited experience of TD, is whether or not it costs money to repair the oil derricks, because I don't know if there is a value assigned to them. That was a nice snipe here. Lots of action around the middle. Yeah, so this is basically just the question of, is a numerical value assigned to those oil derricks? If so, they cost money to repair, because it costs a certain set amount of money proportional to the cost. But I'm not sure about this one. And curious position that we're finding ourselves here. Nudels has basically started out spamming because he's gotten to his second airstrip earlier than Kato. And as a result, his buggy numbers have actually surpassed those of Kato. That is curious. I was not suspecting this to be such a hard comeback despite him losing all the engagements. What about the combat? Oops. There we go. Yeah, Kato's killed a lot more. Does not matter. Rockets are starting to come out here. This is where it gets a bit dicey because a rocket has the same cost as a not buggy. That's how cheap not buggies are. It's actually crazy. Yeah, 300 for a rocket, 300 for a buggy. And this results in weird dynamics. If you get a snipe on a rocket with one buggy and trade 1 for 1, that doesn't look like it should be an even trade, but it absolutely is. And as a result, it can sometimes pay off to just dive in and right-click on a rocket soldier, especially if you want to thin out the herd. And speaking of herd, we've got a full-fledged Nod Mirror here. This is Nod Mirror's par excellence. Nudels has tanked up though, teched up and tanked up. He's got the chunky boy, the flame tank. Man, he's posturing so defensively. Oh, the flame tank, the absolute kingmaker. What is Kato doing? He running around like headless chicken here. Oh, the flame tanks are gonna have so much impact. Ha! Scorchinating the entire army, but gets pushed back regardless. What about the combat? Both are fairly on even terms now. 3 rocket soldiers, I feel... Oh, that was not a good trade anymore. At the tail end of this. I feel like that was a bit of a stubborn overcommitment from Nudels. And Kato looked like he would lose the engagement, but then, yeah, the units just started running around like headless chicken. And that's where it all went south. So somehow Kato has managed to pull off a miracle comeback here. Man, this game... we could basically stay zoomed in on this part of the map. This quadrant has seen all the action thus far. No other quadrant has received any action here just yet. Except the expansion that Nudels is going for him. His econ is going to be absolutely stellar in just a minute. Kato is preparing for an all-out push, but I feel like, yeah, he's running out of ore. He doesn't have his refinery established yet. It's not a good position for him to be in. Economy, he's also not yet trading behind, he's actually still ahead. But his bank is drying up so hard, it's now long distance mining. Plus, he's broke. This refinery ain't gonna finish anytime soon. Needs a lot more okay, now he's got the influx. One more harvester delivering its payload. So actually, the eco transfer was in a timely manner. It was just very close. But good calculations. The MCV is one of those units that has benefited the most from the visual overhaul, in my opinion, because that just looked ugly as sin in the originals. And I find the RA1 MCV really iconic, but the TD MCV always looked really like real garbage to me. One of the only units that doesn't really represent anything, I feel. Yeah. In come the stealth planes. So that is still Nudels bulking up, but yeah. His window is kind of past, huh? His army is not scary at all. No tanks, it's just recons and bikes. No infantry mass either. He has spread his base thin though. Relatively easy to attack, lots of service area to cover. But at the same rate, his econ is gonna be really good. And Kato is just following suit here with his second expansion. MCV moving forward a bit and also deploying a turret. Honestly, against these numbers of units, turrets are not really useful anymore. Okay, just a scouting detachment. Trying to see if it can bait out anything, any response. Yeah, no thank you. Okay, at least they get a good read of the map. So that is already worth something. Only one not buggy being tasked with defending here. That is kind of a statement. It's like, I'm calling your bluff. I know that you've got an army around, but this ain't it, chief. Those 5 Humvees. Not... Yeah, Kato not taking the bait. Not at all. He's acquired a second airstrip for himself here as well. And communication centers are both good to go almost. Support powers, yeah, 12 seconds on the airstrike of Nudels. Maybe he wants to do an alpha strike on the comm center. That is not half bad. In terms of strategies, denying your opponent tech and just taking out their tech in one swift strike, and then going for a push can be really valid. Because they're going to be relegated to producing infantry and... Whoa! 4 airstrips for Nudels. There is no way you can sustain this economy. He is still broke. Yep. 4 airstrips is just insane. Compare that to the 2 of Kato. He's generally really light on the base infrastructure. but lots of turrets to make up for it. Noodles is going for his third base, so if Kato does likewise, then we would have an even map split. But man, Noodles is gonna have an absolute avalanche of steel coming down. This is yet again reminiscent of game number, I don't know what number it was, but just the one that I casted recently last week, where it went on for 23 minutes and it all boiled down to this one massive engagement in the middle. That's kind of what it feels like here. We're just gearing up for this one big push. Oh, such a dangerous position for Kato. His tanks can just... Yep, there's the Alpha Strike. Good move out. Oh, that was a really good dodge. He doesn't lose anything, basically. Just a couple of rifles, and the tanks are... Like, 2 tanks are wounded. That was an absolutely stellar dodge. Prediction 100. I wonder if it's worth capturing the tech center, by the way. I think that would be a good call. Turrets taking an absolute pummeling. Light tanks taking an absolute pummeling, courtesy of the turrets. And in comes the second push. He's being idle with his units. What's going on here? That could have been the comm center, but he forgot about his unit, just sent him there. Some slip-ups here from Noodles. Gotta say, he should have just right-clicked onto the tech structure. Would have resulted at least in a snipe. So, we've got the double prong. I feel there's the bigger army. Just by a small margin. Plus he's got the airstrike still, so Kato's in a good position. Ooh, in comes the airstrike. Really bad angle though. And you can now select the angles. That was okay. Deleted some infantry, some buggies, but nothing high impact. That was probably not what Kato needed, but he's going to be in an okay position regardless. Because he whiffed his airstrike completely. And, yeah. Basically, Kato has done a really good job defending and sending his units wherever they needed to be. Not getting pulled apart. So many rockets! Oh, that's gonna be a hail of rockets. Is that a rocket in your pocket? Basically one-shotting the harvester. You know the health pool those things have. Ooh. The tanks are not connecting onto the infantry core. Really solid defense. None of the tanks are connecting at all. That is an absolute massacre. GG from Noodles, and there was no way in hell he would have won that engagement anymore. Whew. That is an absolute nosedive here. So what happened is basically there was a ton of rocket infantry. He didn't have his airstrike up because he whiffed it, and it was just the perfect timing. And then Kato was just boxing his own units in. And additionally, the light tank husks were blocking the pathing. So there was no way he could crush this core of infantry anymore. Yeah, stupid idea to crush it. That was a bit 50-50. Because if you don't connect, then you just create a wall of husks around the enemy units. And your own tanks can't reach anymore. It's exactly what happened here. Wow. Really stellar hold for Kato. Really good comeback. He was on the back foot for the most part of the game. We're gonna be back with another one. Round 9? 10? I'm gonna have to check the video. Alright, see you in a sec. Yep, round 10 indeed, if I haven't miscounted. So we've had a best of 9, plus we had one game in the third series already. That was last week. Plus we've got this one. So we should now be at a comfortable 2-0 in this new series for Kato. And Noodles has to make up for it. He has to bring out the big guns. Ooh, speaking of the big guns. This big gun here, looking a bit rough. That is an untranslated sprite. This is a custom sprite of an A-10 Warthog that has crash landed. It looks a lot bigger than it does when it is in the airstrike formation. That's cool. Really like the pixel art, as well as a destroyed hospital. So just, yeah, normal post-corona stuff. Alrighty, let's see. This map we've seen before. It is Crackpoint. I think that's actually an older map, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's the one where you have to move out super early. Look at the starting Tiberian. That is gonna last you for maybe 2 tanks or 1 tech structure. And then you're gonna be on basic welfare. Yeah, so Kato is probably just gonna... Both players probably just gonna deploy 1 weapons factory and then moving on. Because greener pastures can be had elsewhere. This is a very barren land. Okay. Kato taking his Derrick, uncontested. Nudels is walling off. This is okay against Nod. Not so much against GDI, because what are they going to push with in the early game? How are they going to threaten your harvesters? With infantry? Yes, but infantry can shoot over sandbags, so it's really dangerous actually. Can work against you. And if you do that against Nod, it's kind of cool because it at least stops the bike buggy flood. You can easily complete the wall off, but GDI don't really have any early game harassment tools outside of maybe a crazy APC drop. And that can't really be stopped by sandbags. No crush to be found here, so this scout from Kato gets to see the entire base. Nothing out of the ordinary. Okay, double power plant here, fortunately for Nudels, so he's not going to be kicked into low power. Nudels has gone for a communication center. Building it outside of the vision range. Yeah, outside of the vision range of Kato, so Kato has no idea that this is going on, is oblivious. He also, crucially, has seen only one power plant. So what this means here is, to him it looks like a normal weapons factory build. This may be the curveball that Nudels needs to come back into this series. I dig. Oh, he's going Orca! I love that. It's actually fairly easy to shut down as GDI if you catch a wind of this. But right now it's not looking like he's catching wind of this. This is a really, really dangerous build, but it can be so rewarding. Oh, tile error. Oh no. Yeah, now with the HD remastered graphics, you can spot the tile errors much, much easier. Also, off the back of this, this Kato taking pretty much every single Derrick on the map. He's up to 2 only. Here's a little distraction. That is just a regular 4 Humvees that looks like a scouting platoon. Nothing too crazy, that's just, yeah. Never mind me, just passing on through. Gets a good read of the base, does see the APC, that's crucial. The APC can bully around those Humvees for so long. My goodness, this thing ain't taking any damage anytime soon. Kato is on the chase, so Nudels here, you don't want to lead them into your base. There's a base in my base. Also maybe just send the injured Humvee back, because that is gonna die to a stiff breeze. It's gonna die by rolling over Tiberium shards, getting Tiberium shards into its wheels, I guess. Kato's minigunner almost taking a grazing shot here. Communication center is up for Kato as well, but it does not have Orca tech unlocked. I think... Oh! What? Nudels has purchased a helipad without doing anything with it. Now he's basically running out of tib on this side of the map already. The longer you wait with this, the more terrible it's gonna be for economy and army. So this is a highly questionable build here. And the regular tanks plus grenadiers plus rifleman combo is coming out. Tried, true, and tested. The triple T build. Very solid, very comfortable to play. Like the comfort food of OpenRA builds. What is the idea here? Okay, 1 Orca has been purchased. 1 Orca procured. 3 more to go if you want this to be an actual threat. Yeah, the tanks are already moving out. Eco transfer is coming in. It feels like, again, Kato's in a good spot simply because Nudels missed his window. He's not even building a second Orca. What is this thing doing? And now he flies it over the old Derrick. It is revealed. APC already getting into position almost immediately. Sure, this thing can now pelt away at a tank for all of 2 seconds. And then that's it. Game over. By the way, nasty bug. If you... Or I don't know if it's a bug. But if you don't issue any other commands to an APC or a turreted vehicle after it has acquired an air unit, or a unit in general, and it moves out of line of sight, the turret is not going to reset. It's always going to stay primed on the enemy unit. So that can be sometimes really useful to track movements. But it didn't happen here, because another order was issued. Yeah, so without any combat or any fanfare, this game is looking very bleak for Nudels. Yep. Here's the army value. That is not a fun army value graph. Not a lot of anti-air, but there is nothing to snipe out the rocket soldiers with. So I feel this is a terrible idea from Nudels. He did not utilize this build at all. APC is hunting, it's stalking, and it has found its prey. One Orca already going down without doing anything. Oh no! Nudels' build is falling apart. It's folding like a house of cards. Yeah, this was really just a strategic mistake rather than micro or macro. This was really just going for a high risk, high reward build and not doing anything with it at all. This really is gonna just come down to an A move. Man, yeah, there's 2 APCs in that army. Good luck sniping anything at all. Nudels does have the airstrike advantage. That's the only thing he's got going for himself. So he's got maybe 1 minute now. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, shoot the Grenadier. Waste all your ammo. Man, how rough. This would have to be the miracle airstrike, and even then, I'm just not seeing it. Maybe if he gets into a compact formation like this. Yeah, that's a good airstrike. That is gonna delete the infantry off the map. Oh, almost all the anti-air has died. Is that a little window of vulnerability? He's attack moving rather than focusing on the weak tanks. That's not a good call. Gotta say, man, Nudels, my friend, I like you as a player, strictly as a player, but your Orca micro, I don't think we can be together. That's all I'm gonna say here. So sorry, it was just not meant to be. Tanks plus Grenadiers going onto the refinery, and all the firepower in the world is being activated to deal with the threat. Wow, that's more Orcas. Grenadiers don't have stellar damage versus buildings, so this is actually gonna be repelled. Whew, but close. Close but no cigar. Now there's a counter airstrike, and there is so much stuff from Kato. Kato's got the airstrike ready to go. Relatively cheap army left to defend here, because it's mostly just mediums and rifles. Or minigunners, so no rocket soldiers, barely any. APC has somehow sitting here. Yeah, we're just waiting for the airstrike, and realistically, Nudels should know about this possibility. He must move his army if he wants to stand a chance. Yeah, here is the Warthog. In comes the GG push, in comes the sledgehammer. Oh. Oh. That is just nasty. Yeah. Strategic mistake. Maybe he can hold on for a little longer. One Orca already falling out of the skies. And this time there is no meat shield to protect. The tanks are connecting on the infantry, scattering them in the process. Extremely low Orcas. He's holding for now, but there is already just 2 dead harvesters, 1 dead refinery. Despite the reinforcement routes being really, really good army movement. Look at the rocket soldiers from Kato. He's got them in a different control group. Oh, MRLS. Okay, can be a nice little diversion. But they don't have good damage against anything that Kato's offering. So, What about the Orcas? Man, they should have just taken out those harvesters here. Those would have been freebies. On the other side, we are just seeing a little detachment killing off everything in its wake. And no more econ left for Nudels. Oh, another Orca falling down. G to the G. Yeah. I hate to be a predictive caster, but there was no way around this, getting around this. This was a build order fail. Pulling off a high risk, high reward build requires you to play a certain style. And he did build the tech buildings and then maybe he figured out he didn't have the econ to support it. And as a result, his Orcas just didn't do anything at all game. Sad day, because I am an Orca connoisseur and I'm an Orca lover. And as such, Peter, please get off my back. Also, yeah, as such, I just recognize this was just a strategic mistake. Nudels not doing what he was supposed to do with this build. But that puts Kato up 3-0 in this series, but there's more next week. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see each other in a couple days. I'm going to be on my first ever trip ever since my baby's been born. And yeah, I'm gonna be gone for 2 days, but I'm gonna be back on Tuesday. It's gonna be a state holiday here. So expect the content to be picking up again around Tuesday to Thursday. Until then, have a nice week. Thank you for watching and see you next time. 5 Aces out.